crap. It's a jazz club, I can say that. I don't say that in the symphony shows. All the crap that she had to deal with and endure is really difficult. Is really difficult. But this next song is so cool. And when I was putting the show together, this was the song I kind of said, I get to sing the Trolley song. I'm so excited because you can't really put that in a show. It makes no sense unless you're doing this show. So I kind of did this show so I could sing this song. Anyway, and as I said before, have been so lucky to be able to tour this show, and I think we were definitely in Florida. We were in Florida a lot, but we were in Florida one particular time, and I got some flowers in my. Sorry, my husband's here. Sorry, honey. I got some flowers in my back in the back room, and that's always nice. And there was a man's, a card, and it was very lovely. And he said, "I'd love to meet you after the show," and I said that would be lovely. And I got to meet him. And the cool thing about, again, doing the show is everybody has their moment with Judy. If you have seen her on stage, or if you've even just seen her in movies like I have just seen her in movies, we all have an image, we all have a song that is so important to us, or a movie that was so important to us. And so one of my favorite parts of performing is after the performance, after the performance, talking to everybody and finding out what their favorite memories and favorite stories of Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli and all these wonderful artists, and I got a lot of stories. And so this particular evening, the gentleman who saw the show, I met him after backstage, and he said that he was Ralph Blaine and Hugh Martin. He was Hugh Martin's nephew. I know. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, that's a big deal. Ralph Blaine and Hugh Martin wrote the score to Meet Me in St. Louis, including The Boy Next Door, and the Christmas song from that I Have Yourself. Thank you very much, Ellen. Have Yourself a Very Merry Little Christmas, which, by the way, was not. I mean, it has become a standard because of that movie and her performance of that. But also this song, and so he said to me, he said, "I'm going to tell you a story about that song that nobody knows." And I was like, fantastic! And so now you're going to know. So this is the story. So you know on a movie set that every minute that they go over is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Especially these big MGM movie musicals. They have these big sets and the costumes and 1,000 people getting everybody ready in the grips. I don't know what grips do, but they're grips. And all kinds of people like this, right? They're gripping. Lots of times they're gripping. And so every time you finish a scene, it's a big deal, and you wrap and you go on to the next scene, and it's on a very, very tight schedule. And so Judy's performance of this apparently was done in one take. One take. That's remarkable. I mean, I think really only Judy Garland and Fred Astaire ever really did that. Maybe Frank Sinatra, but only because his second and third takes were not as good. But Fred Astaire and Judy Garland, their first takes were the definitive takes. And so she did it in one take. And Vincent Minnelli was very happy. He said, "Great, cut, wrap, let's move on to the next thing." It was amazing, wonderful. And poor Hugh Martin goes over and kind of nudges Mr. Minnelli and says, "Excuse me, Mr. Minnelli, can I talk to you for a second?" And, Vincent is kind of annoyed because he's moving on. This is big deal here right now. And well, what's the problem? And he said, "Well, you see, this is the sheet music, and Ms. Garland made some mistakes with the lyrics, and so we're going to have to, she made some mistakes in the lyrics. We're going to have to maybe do that again because it's wrong. It's a mistake." And Vincent looked at him and said, "Well, then change the sheet music." And they did. And to this day, we have no idea what those original lyrics were, but they are now what they are because Judy sang them that way. So without further ado, this is the closing of the first act, but since we are doing one act tonight, I will not do my costume change, and that's all you need to know. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 2, 2. In my hair, piled high upon my head. I went to lose a jolly hour on a trolley quite the handsomest of men. I started to yen, so I counted to 10. Then I counted to 10 again. Bang, 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 went the trolley. Ding, 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 went the bell. Ding, 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 went my heart. So the moment I started, I fell. Chug, 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 went the motor. Bump, 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 went the brake. Bump, 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 went my heartstrings. When he smiled, I could feel his heart shake. He took a seat. He said he hoped he hadn't stepped upon my feet. He asked my name, I held my breath. I couldn't speak because he scared me half to death. Chug, 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 went the motor. Plop, 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 went the wheel. Stop, 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 went my heartstrings. When he started to go, I started to know how it feels when the universe is real. Gotta love that halftime in the middle. I love that halftime in the middle. We did that in the studio too. Without seeing each other. We were in a studio. Is Lou here?